My name is Hans Johnson, and I'm a demographer with the Public Policy Institute of California. And I'm going to be speaking with you about the Master Plan for Higher Education. California's Master Plan for Higher Education was established in 1960. And to this day, it lays out the basic state policies with respect to post-secondary education, that is, college education in the state. It assigns missions to the state's three different public segments of higher education. Those are the University of California system, the California State University system, and the California community colleges. Importantly, the master plan also expresses the state's ideals with respect to higher education. And that is that higher education remain accessible, affordable, and of high quality for all Californians. When the master plan was established in 1960, it was in many ways very forward-thinking for its time, and arguably led to the best system of public higher education in the entire world. In 1960, when the master plan was established, only about 1 out of every 9 workers in California had a college degree, and yet the master plan allowed for the top 1/3 of all high school students to go directly to either a CSU or a UC. While the master plan was very forward-thinking for the 20th century, it is out of date for the 21st century. Specifically, PPIC has done work that has identified what we call a workforce skills gap that the state faces going forward. And that is, as our economy increasingly demands more highly educated workers, our population is not going to be able to supply the number of highly educated workers that we would otherwise expect, partly because, and largely because, we are not producing enough college graduates in California. Our projections are that by 2025, California will fall 1 million college graduates short of where we need to be to satisfy the demand for our economy. And by college graduates here, we're talking about people with a bachelor's degree or more. This matters tremendously for California's future. If we are not able to close this education skills gap, we will have a population that has lower incomes, is creating fewer tax revenues, and at the same time will be demanding more government services. It matters because we want our children in California to have a place in the future economy of the state. We cannot migrate our way out of this problem. California does draw college graduates from abroad and from other states, but the recent history has been that we are actually losing more college graduates to other states than we're gaining from those states, and the international flow is not sufficient to close this gap. We need to produce more college graduates in California, and that is largely a public endeavor in California. 3 out of every 4 bachelor's degrees in the state is produced by either the California State University system or the University of California system. So how do we close this gap? Well, we need to establish new goals for the master plan. Those new goals have to do with transfer from community colleges to the 4-year universities, completion within those 4-year universities, and eligibility at UC and CSU. So for example, if California was able to increase transfer rates by 1/3, if it was able to increase completion, especially at CSU, where completion rates right now are only about half of incoming freshmen graduating within 6 years, to levels much more like those of UC. And if it's able to increase eligibility from the top 1/3 going to CSU to the top 40%, and the top 12.5% going to UC to the top 15% going to UC by 2025, then the state will largely close this education skills gap. These are not dramatic changes that would be required for the state to reach these goals, and PPIC has suggested that the state achieve these new objectives incrementally over time. This is really a question about which future we want for California. Do we want to be a state that continues to progress, that relies on the skills of its residents, and allows those residents to experience the kind of economic and social mobility that is afforded by increasing education? That has been the story of California in the past, and we very much need to continue that story for our own prosperity. Thank you.